Hi everybody, it's me Juan Films here. Welcome back to the channel. It is so great to see you all again, and we have a very special guest today. It's my dog, Kasumi. I know she's very tired. I actually just took her out on a walk, on a very long walk to the park, so that's why she's very tired. But we're not gonna make this video to keep her active. We're actually gonna make this video because today I want to tell you guys a little story about her. So I know a lot of y'all are probably curious as to why we got her and how we got her and all that stuff. So this specific video will be all about that. I just wanted to apologize to you guys that I did not release this last Friday. This will be released today, which is a Monday. And the reason why I didn't release a video last Friday, it was because, you know, I had a lot of things coming up in the way. I had to take an exam for some of my summer classes, got an 80 on it, so yay. And also Father's Day was yesterday, so obviously I was getting ready for that, so yeah. It was a pretty busy weekend, so with that said, let's get started.
Story time with Juan Films.
Alright, so I just finished with the gym. Now let's get on started with the story. So pretty much long story short, back in February of last year, 2021, actually no, let's start with January. Yeah, January of 2021. I was starting my second semester of my second year in college. I was still a biology major before I switched it the next month. And unfortunately, things didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. As soon as I was starting the semester, I actually signed up for like a whole bunch of like, you know, hard classes. I signed up for chemistry and chemistry lab, bio and bio lab, and calculus. Yes, I took all the hard classes that semester. So, and while I was starting the classes, I found out that one of my family members had tested positive for COVID. And I was around that specific person, you know, like 3 days before she ended up testing positive. And then during that day, we also found out that one of my brothers tested positive for COVID. And then the next day, my mom came back positive for COVID. So I just stood there like, oh no, I was around these people like 2-3 days ago, and I'm afraid I might have COVID. So I think the next day or that day that my mom came back positive, my brother and I went to go get tested. We thankfully came back negative like the next 2 days and all that, but still, that was scary. But the very next day after we tested, my dad came back positive for COVID. So I kind of knew it from the distance that it was unfortunately a rough start to my semester and all that, you know, with the stresses of taking all these, you know, hard math and science classes, along with, you know, my family being sick and everything. And, you know, I have to take care of these situations here and there. So yeah, it was definitely a really hard time for me. And during that time until end of February, beginning of March, I know it was like right before my birthday, because my birthday's in the beginning of March. You know, I just felt a little, you know, let down. I felt sad. I didn't feel, you know, happy. I didn't feel like I could do this. Because, you know, I was not only worried about myself and my future, I was also worried about my family's health. Because in case you guys didn't know, my dad went through 2 cancers back in 2018. And he went through another one this past year. So obviously that was a scary experience for me, you know, finding out that my dad had COVID. And obviously, you know, the most people who die from COVID are elder people or like people who had, you know, a different type of like bad sickness or something like that, you know, cancer, diabetes, you know. So yeah, I was definitely worried that my dad was gonna lose his life to COVID. But thankfully, he got the first dose of the vaccine right before he came back positive for COVID. And no, he did not get COVID from the vaccine. He actually got it because he was around someone who tested positive. right before he did. And then to say the very least, like 2 weeks after, my family had COVID, pretty much the majority of my family felt better, especially my dad, for example. Thankfully, he's now all better from COVID. My mom was still feeling sick and all that, so she had to stay in her room in quarantine for at least another week, 2 weeks or something like that. I forgot. And then I was still feeling down, like I said, I was feeling down from the time that I found out my parents had COVID and when I started taking those classes until February or March of that year. So I wasn't sad because of my family having COVID, since the majority of them are all now better, which is great. But I was just let down because I was afraid that I don't want to do this. Like college was just stressful back then. I mean, it's still stressful now because I am still in college, but for me, I just felt like giving up. I felt depressed, I felt sad. I didn't want to seek for therapy because I thought that I would feel better, because usually whenever I feel sad, I actually feel better within like a day or two or something. But oh my god, this one just went through the roof. And then from there, things got worse. So at like February 26th of 2021, I believe, I was in the middle of taking midterm exams, which is about 2 weeks before we went on to spring break. I did not feel good about myself. I didn't feel good mentally. I didn't feel like, I was doing well. I actually failed like 2 of the midterms I took. So yeah, I was not only stressed out, I was also depressed because I feel like that I couldn't do this. And that's what made me lose motivation to continue doing school at that time. And I even told my parents that I wanted to drop out. And like, I don't mean like, dropping out, leaving school forever, but probably like, taking a break from doing classes and all that. And then I'm not just gonna sit at home, do absolutely nothing, but like I want to work and all that, make some money and stuff, and just think about my future and have some time to think about what I want to do before I go back to school. Because I'm gonna be real honest, when I started college, I felt like me majoring in biology was nothing but a rush. Because I did want to study, marine biology and all that, sea animals and all that back then. But at the same time, I felt like it was just a bit rushed. So obviously, if you guys have not thought about doing a major just yet, especially for those who just started college, I know taking your time is not fast enough or easy enough, but like, just be careful what you want to do, and make sure if you're not comfortable with the major that you're currently in, please switch it as soon as possible. Thankfully, I switched mine, right like 2 days after the February 26th thing. And then the next day, things also got worse. I just got out of another midterm. I was eating dinner and I felt let down. I was studying for my biolab midterm, and that's when I knew, all right, you know what? I'm done. I'm done, man. Like, I don't feel happy being a bio major no more. Like, I don't feel happy being in college. I just don't feel happy at all. I want to tell my mom that I want to drop out. I want to take like a gap semester, a gap year, or something like that, to think about what I want to do with my life. And then I had to sit down with my parents, and they recommended me to not to, and to just switch my major. But then at the same time, I kept telling them all these excuses as to why I should drop out and all that. I was feeling let down. I was feeling depressed. Like, that was a really hard time for me. I have this one photo of me with like a pigtail, because I had really long hair. Well, not like super long, but like my hair was pretty long that I made it into a pigtail, and I had like this big pissed off face that I made. And I usually show this to people, saying that this was one of the worst times of my life, because I felt let down. I felt depressed. At some point, I did feel like hurting myself, but I didn't, think about suicide or anything like that, because suicide is garbage. And during that time, I knew that I wanted to go see a therapist as well, because I just felt mentally horrible. Like, I felt terrible mentally. And that's why the next day, after I took my last midterm at the time, I had to have a conversation with my brother. And he was telling me that I should just continue on with college, just study something new, study something that you actually like. And that's when I figured out I'm going with film and media, because I have a lot of knowledge about movies, and I've always wanted to do something within the entertainment industry as well. So the very next day, which was the day before my birthday, I went to have a Zoom meeting with my advisor at the time, telling her that I'm having a bad semester. I can't do this bio major any longer. I want to switch to film and media. And thankfully, she was super nice about it. And I was just like, oh, I'm so grateful for it. I am so grateful for it. So the very next day was my 20th birthday. I'm still somewhat feeling a little sad and all that, but at the same time, I was feeling a lot better because, I got that major change. I actually withdrew from most of the classes that I was taking that semester. And also, my parents told me that they want to get me a dog to, keep me happy. And, they even told me that they thought about it for a while, because they saw that I was not, my happy self throughout the entire semester. So they decided to sit down and they agreed to get me a dog. And I was like, wow. I was pretty surprised that they were going to get me a dog, but at the same time, I was feeling very excited too, because I haven't had a dog since before I moved here from Puerto Rico. So yeah, it's great. First dog in like 13 years. Crazy. And then that day, we checked to see if there were any good dogs available. My dad and I went to a local animal shelter that was close to our gym. So we drove there. Some of the dogs were pretty cute. Some of them were we didn't get any of the dogs. So a few days afterwards, my mom actually decided to search up some local dog shelters in Puerto Rico, because we were going to go to Puerto Rico during my spring break, which was a couple weeks after that. And then we found the perfect one. And that was when we saw Kasumi's little picture. When we first saw Kasumi's picture, she was only like 2 months old or something like that. She was so cute, and we all kind of agreed to get her. So 2 weeks after, we were looking for dogs, and after we confirmed that we were getting Kasumi, we actually went to Puerto Rico. We spent the entire week at an apartment and then at a beach house and all that. Like, we were all having fun, having a great time. I was still somewhat recovering from my depression, but, I felt like that trip was very much needed, in my opinion. And then on our second to last day, my entire life changed. That was when I met my little goofball of a dog for the very first time. I just turned 20 years old. She was only 2 months old. I think I only have like just a few pictures of when we first met, not a whole lot. But yeah, if you guys want any pictures of me and Kasumi and all that, please comment down below, and then comment down below your Instagram, and then I will DM you guys those pictures. And with that being said, the day after we picked her up, we brought her home. She was welcomed to our family for the very first time. And I could definitely say that with her being by my side through thick and thin, through better or worse, she has changed my life for the better. And I am forever grateful that I get to, have this little cutie in my life. she's very tired because she was actually at the daycare today. So, yeah. But like, you know, whenever we're not at the daycare, she's usually at home and like I play with her and all that. And she's a bundle of energy. And I'm definitely gonna, you know, record some more footage of me playing with her and everything. So yeah, this is gonna be fun for upcoming YouTube videos. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.